Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where we're going to be checking out a little bit more of one of the most interesting groups I get to listen to, BiSH. As I've said many times before, BiSH are an interesting one because, as I'm sure is not a surprise even if they heard many of my reactions, I feel quite split about some of their songs. Some of their songs I'm a bit, some of their songs I absolutely adore. On average, I'd say I really like most of their songs, and certainly when they hit the right beat, they produce some of the best songs I've heard on this since doing this channel. And that all stems from their ethos, the thing that I love most about them. And I know you guys have heard this so much before if you've been following this channel, but I've got to say it again. Every time I press play, I don't know what to expect. I love that. I love the fact that they throw themselves so much into being such a different group from one day to the next, as the whole Carrots and Sticks album project has kind of proved. But just this whole sense that, you know, you could get some screaming noise metal thing going on, or you could get a beautiful radio-friendly sing-along cutesy pop song. Who knows what's going to happen? But what I'm going to be listening to now, this is, I believe this is a relatively recent song. So it might be from Carrots and Sticks, but I don't know which side of that it's going to be from. It's called A Non-Tie-Up. A name that would probably have me a little bit weirded and confused of any other artist, but with BiSH, it's BiSH, you know, just go with it. Alright, so anyway, we'll talk more afterwards. This is BiSH with Non-Tie-Up. Extremely distorted orchestra. Cool video, gonna make this full screen. The weird video is rather grabbing, but the song so far seems to be building up tension. I want to see if there's a payoff. Nice. Switching up the tempo. Love the strings as well. Great work with the orchestration. I think this is going to need a full listen to really judge the chorus. I can kind of get what they're going for, but it's kind of working, but I'll explain more afterwards. The tension's clearly up to 11. Yeah, it's all about the orchestration right now. I know it's really, really simple, sort of soundtracky, tropey stuff, but it's working in this context really nicely. Oh, I really like this bit. That's beautiful. whatever you might say about this band, it's for sure that everything they do is different. Alright, that was weird. A lot to unpack, as always. I can't help but point out the obvious that every time I do a BiSH song, like 9 times out of 10, I leave the song with a smile on my face. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so yeah, my review is not going to be 100% positive, because we always try to be honest on this channel. There's a few things that I'm not too sure about with that, but I have to be honest that as a general, it's really it's enjoyable, it's engaging. It's not the best thing I've heard from them, but it does have a lot going for it. Now, like I say, the bridge was my favourite bit. I really loved that. They really lent into the orchestration with the big sort of held notes and the strings doing their thing. I am aware that if we are pulling apart, because I did say my favourite thing about that for the best part was the orchestration. If we're pulling that apart, I am aware that the string section wasn't really doing anything particularly clever. It was just kind of your normal, like I say, soundtracky tropes. But what I really liked is in this context, it worked in this sort of massively over-the-top, distorted girl band shouting song. It works. We've heard heavy orchestration in metal in decades past. So hearing it in something like this, a sort of slightly more poppy approach at heavy music, it's nice because it worked in a way that I don't think we've heard too regularly before. We've probably heard that style, like I say, that style of orchestration, but hearing it in a song like this did feel quite fresh, is all I can really say on that. And it helped the whole thing sound big, because it was clearly all about sounding big, this song, as the video went along with it, sort of demonstrate. Before I move on too much to the song, I do just want to say about the video, massive credit to the director. I mean, it was a bit of a weird video, no doubt. It's one of those videos where you spend a lot of time looking at going, what the hell is going on here? And I did the bit where they're running up that sort of spirally bit. If you've ever spent any particularly long period of time in, Japan, but especially Tokyo, you'll immediately recognize what kind of building that was. So yeah, credit on using a car park. It must have been fun to film that, but it was the video was beautifully directed. I don't know if it would have been the director of photography or the overall director who should be credited most for this, but every single shot had a real impact. It was really engaging, really caught your eye. So yeah, a lot of credit for the video director for how they did that, and just to people as general who made this video. Now, in regards to the song, is a strange one, because like I say, the vibe of the song was immediately clear and very well translated across, really well carried across. That it was all about big, orchestral, dramatic, but whereas sometimes, orchestral or dramatic soundtracky music, which I think was what this is best to compare it against, that kind of music tends to have a degree of sharpness to it. This was more about sort of the power and the distortion. It was like mixing those elements, those writing styles from soundtrack music and some of the sounds from soundtrack music with something a lot more distorted and kind of bordering on sort of thrashy, I wouldn't say metal or maybe punk, kind of just like had a hard rock thing going underneath it, and this sort of love for distortion. So it was an interesting marriage between, a sound which is very much about drama and clarity, and another sound which is very much about energy and distortion. I kind of felt like there was a real marriage of the both of them in there. The chorus was pretty much just blast shouted through for the vocals, which at first caught me a little bit off guard, because I was kind of listening to it thinking, well, it felt kind of like the anger and madness from some of the other songs on the Styx EP or album or whatever you want to call it. It felt a little bit like some of that madness, but pushed through a slightly more poppy filter. So it took me a while to really work out what feeling you're supposed to get from the chorus. Because the song had been so loud up until that point, it's not like it really blasted in with any particular increase in the energy. It's just like you kind of could tell just because of the way the chord pattern and everything had been written, you could tell, well, this was the chorus because it's kind of where you expect the chorus to be. But it didn't really feel like it was sort of, grabbing you by the throat and, saying, announcing itself. It was just the loudness has continued, but this is the bit we're going to consider the hook. And it was shouted to the point that I didn't really get a melody out of it, but also it didn't have enough impact to feel like a shout along. However, by the end of the song, I've got to admit, it whittled its way into sort of working more. As I started to get what the chorus was, it definitely sat with me better. So as a result, I don't think the hook for this is particularly memorable, and I don't think it's particularly it doesn't sort of have any qualities that are going to make you go, oh yeah, that's a classic hook or a classic chorus or anything like that. But it does convey the energy of the song. It's very much in keeping with everything that comes before and after it, depending on which chorus you're looking at. It does just seem very much in character with the song, but not like a sort of massive called out chorus. And as a general, most of the song felt, just down on a simple writing sense. Didn't feel like it was really particularly memorable. What, to me, with exception, like I say, to that orchestration, which did kind of manage to extract most of the emotion from what was otherwise just a sort of real distortion energy train. What really worked for me, though, like I say, was that sound. And I think this is probably what the writers were going for from the get-go. I think that this was produced to be this way from the very first time it was thought of. It was more about the fact that it was this charging, blasting energy. And like I say, the fact that it did that in all the available ways, the clarity of a big, powerful orchestra, the sort of grittiness and aggression of distorted sort of guitar-y sounds, the sort of thumping of a sort of a heavy pop beat, and blasted vocals shouting in your face. So in no way does this stand out as being the most memorable of their songs. The video definitely was a real standout one because it was just so bizarre and yet so nicely shot. The video is quite memorable. I can't say the song is hugely memorable, but it's good. It's in keeping with the sort of stuff I would expect if we were going to say, hey, let's listen to a mad BiSH song. It's in keeping with that, and yet it's different enough. It's got different enough characteristics to stand on its own as being, a song in its own right, rather than just them doing something they've already done before. So yeah, I would say good. I'd be happy if it came on the album and I was in the mood for it. I'd be like, yeah, cool. But I don't think I would seek this one out to listen to, as I do with several of the other BiSH songs, the happy and the angry ones, and the sad ones. But this is not one that I would actively seek out, but I wouldn't be bothered if it came on the album. Not bothered in a negative way if it came on the album while I was listening through to it. Anyway, as always, music is subjective to opinion, so let's get your comments in here as well. Tell me what you think. What's your thought on this? Are you a BiSH fan or not? I imagine this is not going to be one of those ones that's going to universally make everyone fall in love with it. I think this is very much a specific sound. Surprised they went for, I know that video probably could have been shot quite cheaply, but I'm surprised they went for a video that had such an expensive look for a song that doesn't really strike me as like the standout single of the certainly of the most recent batch at least. So let me know what you think. And as always, if you want to suggest more songs or tell me more about the artist because you know more about than I do, because I don't pre-research any of these artists, I just get to learn about them as I listen, please do as well. And song suggestions are best done in the Reddit, also in the description below. But for now, from Japan, thank you so much for tuning in, and ciao ciao. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out more of our hundreds of videos we got online on this channel right now, or get involved in the discussion with us at the many social media links we've got in the description below, where you can suggest new videos and artists for us to check out on the channel. Or you can just do the usual YouTube stuff and comment, like, subscribe. You know how this works by now.